Now, so step number 4, to decide with how much investment you can start with. And remember that I said first to set up your goals, because that's going to go along with the amount of investment that you need in order to reach your goals. And also I mentioned that this is a leverage market, so you don't need that much money to do a good return on daily basis and on monthly basis. So that being said, a leverage market means that most brokers will offer you leverage. So for every dollar that you deposit in your trading account, they're gonna leverage you, basically loan you $100 in terms of leverage. So most brokers in this industry, they have $1 to $200 leverage, $1 to $200 leverage, $1 to $400 leverage, or $1 to $500 leverage. So for every dollar you have $100 extra to trade with, $200, $300, or $400, or $500. So those are the leverages that today we have in this industry. And there is a misconception that because you have a lot of leverage, you have more risk of losing. That's not right. In fact, the more leverage, you should stick to your strategy. Basically, you have to open transactions just based on how much money you have, but the leverage is going to actually gives you that extra fluctuation that you can afford on daily basis. So you don't have to use the leverage. The leverage is there. So the problem is to use it when you don't have to, or when you don't even need to. So that is one thing. Let's leave leverage for a more advanced video. Let's say that you have this idea of doing something that can give you, I don't know, $50 extra a day in the morning, for example, when you have time, or at night when you have time to trade at night, because we all know that this is a 24 hours market, and I'm going to talk about that in some other video. So just if you have that idea of doing like $50 a day, $100 a day, or whatever amount you're thinking, or you're saying, well, I don't go for the daily return, I go for the monthly return. So you just keep transactions kind of long term, and I'm going to also talk about that in different videos. So but one thing is true, you have to analyze the first the investment that you can actually afford in the market, and of course don't invest something that you cannot lose. All right, so there's two reasons for that. First is a psychological reason, because you have an attachment to that money. So even if you don't need it, you have already an attachment, which is absolutely psychological. So it's not going to help to invest something that you cannot lose, because you have an attachment with that money. So it's not going to help that. So if you're absolutely detached to that to that investment, to that money, then go ahead and do it. And like I said in the previous video, this is not for low investment. This is just, think of, like 1,500, think of 200, 2,000 and up. Don't go for lower than that. Even if you don't use all the money, because the idea of leverage markets is that you don't have to use your entire investment. Let's say that you use from that investment, you can use $200 from that. But the idea of to have a bigger account is that you can afford the daily volatility, you can hedge, you can do many things that with lower investments, you cannot go through the day. And trust me on that one. So like I said, I'm going to explain you what I'm trying to say, that you use just a little bit of the of that investment, but you have to also know some technical things before we talk about if you want to do $100 a day, how much and how many transactions you have to do and stuff like that. But just to make sure that you have that idea clear, the leverage goes along with the investment that you're going to have to invest with, depending on your goals, and also the attachment or the emotional attachment that you're gonna have with that money. It cannot happen, okay? Because you're gonna have that fear in your head, and when you have fear of something, guess what? Then you're gonna lose it. So I hope that gives you some insight of, how your mind and the money works for you.